Hi, I'm Lori, and this is Random Acts of Mindless, where the topics are random and we're mindless because we don't overthink things, we do not get in our way, and we go out and we just do and we see what kind of adventure life can be. Today's not so random topic is a follow-up of my previous video where I shared what I do to save on groceries. And I realized that my situation is very different than other people's situation. Other people don't have the option to go to multiple stores. They don't have a bunch of storage in their house for food, so they can't just go and grab sale items and have a stock. So I thought as an exercise, I would challenge myself this week to pick an ad that came in the mail and start creating a meal plan from that, go to the store, see what other sale or clearance items I could find to kind of fill in on that meal plan, and then fill in the gaps with whatever prices were in that single store. So that's what I did. And I'm going to share with you how I would go about it and how I would approach it if I found it necessary to shop in this way. And at the end of it, I will show you the list I created for a week's worth of meals for my family of 4 and how much the total would be if I bought these groceries at solely this one store based on their sales and clearance for that week. And hopefully this gives you an idea of maybe how you could go about shaving some money off of your grocery bill, how you could possibly approach shopping. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, so my first step was to see what was on sale in the ad. And the ad I chose was this Acme ad, and it was by far the worst sales that were in any of the ads that came to my house in the mail this week, which is why I picked it, because I figured I wasn't going to make this real easy on myself. But I did notice 99-cent chicken, so I'm automatically thinking there's going to be lots of chicken this week. 99-cent coupon for some frozen waffles, $2.99 for bags of clementines, and that was a limit of 2. And then the only other thing I thought was decent, now I know that's not a bad price on chips, but I'm not going to spend money on chips because they go fast. I did notice that there were a bunch of things that if you buy 4, they're $1.99 each, and I was seeing the Cheerios and Chex here, and I'm thinking, okay, well, cereal for breakfast, and the Chex I can make into like a cereal snack mix. So those are the items that I pulled out of this sale ad. So that was the first thing I did. And I wrote those down. And then my next step was to actually start building a meal plan. So this was the first thing after seeing those sale items. Breakfast, I have waffles, clementine cereal. Lunch, there's always some kind of leftovers in my house, and I don't see that being any different this time. Snacks, clementines, and the snack mix to make with that cereal. And then for dinners, I'm thinking barbecue chicken, Asian, and some kind of Asian-inspired chicken, and big batches of that. That's typically how I cook. I'll do big batches, and we'll have each of them a couple nights. And then drinks, I didn't really see anything, so that's where we are in the meal planning stage right now. So then the next thing I did was I went to the store and I checked out what's on sale, clearance in the store, and were there any digital coupons. So as you saw from the pictures, these are the additional sale items I found. So barbecue sauce, that'll be great for our barbecue chicken. And you notice it said 2 for $3, but it didn't say you must buy 2, which means I can just buy 1. Same thing with the peanut butter, I can just buy 1. And then there were hot dogs as a lunch option. There was pasta sauce 2 for $4, crushed tomatoes 3 for $5. And then the coffee was 2 for $8, but that one actually did say you must buy 2. So I was thinking, okay, that can be a little bit of a stock up right there, some for the following week. And then that pancake mix that you saw was a complete pancake mix, so you just add water. And it was on sale, but there was also a digital coupon that would bring it down to $2.99. You saw that clearance salad macaroni, but just because it says that it's salad macaroni, it doesn't mean you can't use it in any old pasta dish. And then I found that teriyaki sauce that would be great for the Asian-inspired chicken, so it's going to be a teriyaki chicken. And then the only thing you didn't see there was also a digital coupon when I checked my app for canned vegetables. It was an unlimited coupon. You got them for 81 cents a piece. So my next step is to revisit the menu plan. So now here's our menu plan. I'm going to revisit this menu plan. And you notice in blue, these are things that were added in after looking at those sale things. So pancakes can go in the breakfast, peanut butter in the lunches, hot dog as a lunch option, and then some canned potatoes to go with the barbecue chicken, some canned veg to go with the teriyaki chicken, that clearance pasta, and then the sauce to make a pasta with sauce, and then that coffee that was on sale. And so then my last step before creating my list is to fill in the gaps, because this is not a complete menu. So let's complete this menu. So here's filling in the gaps. So if I have waffles and pancakes, I'm going to want some syrup. If we're having cereal, we're going to want some milk. If we're having peanut butter, we're going to want jelly and bread to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and some hot dogs to go on that bread as well. We don't need any rolls in this house. We're not fancy like that. So bread is fine. Snack mix, I'm going to need some taco seasoning, some sort of fat, and then maybe some pretzels to add into that so it's actually a mix and not just cereal. And then I did look around the store and I found that cabbage was 99 cents a pound. So that sounded like that would be good with the potatoes and barbecue chicken. And rice is relatively cheap to round out that dish. And a little bit of ground beef to go in the pasta and sauce. Now, if I'm going to get cabbage and rice and ground beef, and there was that pasta sauce and the crushed tomatoes on sale, that sounds like unstuffed cabbage would be another good option for dinners. And then some chili with some of that ground beef, and I can pick up some beans and another packet of that taco seasoning, because right, I'm keeping this basic. We're assuming there's nothing in the house, but I'm not going to buy a bunch of spices. So yeah, the beans, the crushed tomatoes, the ground beef, some taco seasoning, and we can even have that over top of rice as an option. So I'm going to want a big bag of rice. And then for additional drinks, what I typically do is I have like a 20 count bag of tea bags. And I usually use 10 tea bags per gallon of iced tea. So that'll make 2 big pitchers of iced tea. And then, of course, we're going to want sugar. My family will want sugar in their iced tea. So now my menu is complete. And all I have to do is create the list, which I pretty much did in store, but I came home and wrote it all down afterwards. So here is our final list. And just running through, here's all the things that I just talked about. Those pretzels were 2 for $3. I found some imperial spread. That was the cheapest thing I found, was $1.79. There'll be some of that left over. There'll be some coffee left over. I mean, we're not going to drink all that coffee in 1 week. 10 pounds of chicken, 4 pounds of cabbage, and the ground beef was just over $10 for a 2.5-pound package. A 5-pound bag of rice. Again, you notice here that these crushed tomatoes were 3 for $5, but I was thinking I only need 2 cans, so that's $3.34 because it didn't say that you must buy 3. So you can just buy the amount that you need if it doesn't say that. And then 2 boxes of that clearance pasta to make a real big batch. I'll probably use like 1 can of that, 1 jar of that sauce, and then a can of the crushed tomatoes to stretch out that sauce for that pasta, and a little bit of the ground beef. The ground beef would be divided between the pasta dish, the unstuffed cabbage, and the chili. So just a little bit, almost just like a flavoring. And then the tea bags and the sugar, and obviously I'm going to have some sugar left over. I don't use a lot in the tea, so be a little bit of sugar used in the tea, and then some for coffee if anybody wanted it in their coffee, and then there'd be sugar left over for the following week. So the total ends up being $105.58. And I have to say, I was kind of surprised that it was that low. I really expected it to be higher than it was, because I don't shop this way, and I just figured if I had to go to one store and buy my groceries, it was going to be astronomical. I really didn't think that was bad. I understand that everybody's prices everywhere are different. I get that. You might be seeing some of these prices and saying, wow, oh my gosh, I don't have that in my store. And I understand that your prices aren't the same. However, the approach can be the same. I've heard over and over again that the best way to cut your grocery bill is to meal plan. And I haven't really done that. And nothing has hit home more than this exercise for that, because I approached it from a meal planning standpoint. I feel like that kept the bill relatively manageable. I mean, $105.58 for a family of 4 for a week of meals, I don't think that's bad at all. Now, are these meals the most gourmet meals? Are they, no, they're not. And I was keeping it really simple, not buying a lot of spices, just using taco seasoning. But if you have spices in your house, that would absolutely make the meal that much tastier, right? So I was just keeping it simple and basic, and if I had to do it this way. But for me, it really drove home that meal planning really helps you keep your grocery budget down. So, start looking at your ad, pull out the things that you're going to buy that are good sale items. Start building a menu plan around that. Go to your store, do a quick peruse, find all the clearance and sale things that weren't mentioned in the ad, and start kind of filling in some gaps in your meal plan. Bring your piece of paper and do that just the way I just showed you that I did. And then after you do that, figure out, okay, what do I need to fill in the gaps, and start looking for the cheapest options in the store, which is exactly what I did. I found the cheapest options in the store. I mean, some of those prices were higher than I would ever pay for any of those things, but if I was doing it from one store, if I had to do it that way, this is the approach I would take. And then what you put in your cart is based upon that meal plan that you've created right there on the fly. Honestly, it did take me a little longer than it usually does. A lot longer than it usually does, because I usually just go in and buy sale items. I'm in there for 10-15 minutes. 10 minutes usually just to go and get the sale items, and then another 5 minutes going around checking to see what else is on clearance that, maybe I can use to bump up my stock of something. And then I'm out. But I was there a good 40 minutes probably, because I was meal planning while I was in the store. But I think at that total, it may be worth it. You have to gauge if it's worth that kind of time for you to grocery shop to keep your bill lower, potentially shave some money off of it. So let us know if you found any good deals and put that in the comments below. But more than anything, this is Random Acts of Mindless. So what I want to know is, did you do something mindless this week? Even if it's just a small thing, nothing is too small. If there's something you did that you would never have done, that you would have talked yourself out of, share that with us. That's awesome. I so want to know that. I just, if you got out there and you didn't talk yourself out of something, if you didn't get in your own head and you just did, I want to know about that. I am so proud of you for anything you did this week to just go for it. So hit that subscribe, hit the notification so that you never miss a random act of mindless, and let us know what great things you did where you didn't get in your own way this week. And until next week, stay random, stay mindless. Don't you dare get in your way. You go out and seize each and every day.